Hey, 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 hey. Hello, hello, hello. How's all doing? How's it all going? All right. Don't want it that way. Turn it this way. All right. All right. Hey, 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 hey. How's everybody doing? It's Mama Sha, and I'm back in the garden getting ready for the Center of Being Bodywork and Wellness Dojo Gardening Delight series. Yes, indeed. So coming up this weekend, that'll be this weekend, Friday, March 31st and Saturday, April 1st, we are going to have the first installment of the Center of Being Bodywork and Wellness Dojo Garden Delight series. Yay! So I'm here in the garden, getting the grounds ready for receiving all of you beautiful people that will join me here. You'll see some flyers and some reels posting. I got a little bit of my spinach lunch in my teeth. Oh well. But yeah, you'll see some posts coming up. I'll be talking about what we're going to be doing here in the dojo this weekend. We are having a what I call a family solidarity business expo. So it's a business expo and marketplace featuring the members of my family and their various businesses. I, of course, will be out here representing the dojo and the herbalist lifestyle. My daughter will be representing her brand. My son will be representing his brand. My daughter, if you're not aware, she makes amazing, the airplanes, amazing custom wigs. So she does these beautiful dye jobs, makes amazing custom wigs. My son has his own vintage clothing line, 357 Clothing by Nasir Sharif. And so my roommate, Penelope's, if she's able to join us, will be doing a box lunch. You'll have to pre-order. So if you'd like a box lunch for the Saturday afternoon pickup, please pre-order through Penelope's Culinary Services. We will be having that's all on Saturday, at the Botanical Bodega, which is the lawn sale here at the dojo. And so that's Saturday, April 1st, the big lawn sale, the Botanical Bodega, where we'll be featuring products made from botanical resources or sources, as well as some craft items that I've made here in the dojo. On Friday, March 31st, that's this Friday, we'll be having a cocktail mixer and social hour here at the dojo from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. on Friday. We'll be having some elixirs delivered to us by some beautiful botanical hands, and I'm just looking forward to hosting all of you here at the dojo. I'm trying to get that piece of lettuce out my teeth. It's not lettuce, it's spinach. And so anyway, that's what's going on here at the dojo. I have been just muddling through several crises with lupus, and several crises with my family, and several crises with my finances, and got a little down, got a little out, got a little discouraged, to be perfectly honest. Wasn't sure I was going to be able to keep the dojo going, but this is a work of passion, a labor of love. I love what I do. I love the pivot that I made in my life to be here with you all. And I'm so very excited. Make sure all this volume is all the way right. I'm so excited to be delivering to you this wonderful content about the dojo lifestyle, how it is that I have been able to survive my family and friends while living in transition. I've gone through many different transitions in my life. One of the major transitions, most major for me, was when I learned that I had lupus. But another major transition was my heart attack. I have been let go beautifully in the beautiful blessing of termination from a couple of different spaces of employment in my life, and had to transition in and through those experiences. So transition, woo-hoo-hoo, is what we do here at the dojo. We live and manifest through transition. And so that's what I do here. That's what the dojo life is about. How do you maintain a center of being, a space of calm, a space of gratitude, a space of forgiveness, a space of motivation when life is coming at you and knocking you out? And I can definitely testify that life has come for me, and I have felt like my proverbial behind was on the floor. So today you're going to see me working in the dojo garden. Got to get it ready for spring planting. And as you know, it is me in this garden. This is me doing what I do. This is how I stay centered in my being, is by connecting with Mother Earth and producing, cultivating, giving my energy and my heart over to the garden space. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm not going to be playing any music today. I cannot figure out copyright on the YouTube side. I can figure it out on the Instagram side, but on the YouTube side, I keep getting these copyright infringements for the music. So no music today. You're going to hear these airplanes, and I'm going to come back in and out of the reel and share with you exactly what I'm doing. So the first part of what you'll see me do, and you've seen me do this before, but I've got to clear the land. I've got to get all the weeds. My garden is surrounded by trees, and those trees drop their fruit, and those fruit, their berries, their nuts, etc., create potential harvest in my garden, right? And so I have to come out every season, pull out those weeds, pull out those freshly rooting items, so that my garden items have an opportunity to grow, my garden products. I lost everything on that freeze that came through in the end of 2022. I had everything covered, my beds were covered, but it wasn't enough to save my garden. So I lost my staple food source, which is collards, and several of my other varieties out here. So I'm starting from scratch, with the exception of my lemon balm, my mint, and my holy basil. They held on, and I'm hoping to see them prosper. So here we go. Home dojo garden. Hey. Stay away from the stairs. So one of the things that has abundantly had an opportunity to just prosper out here is my dog's waste. Dog waste is not good for anything but the dog to get it out of its system. So one of the things that I got to do out here is clean up this waste. And so I'm putting on my knee pads. That's a big part of what today's going to be about, is getting the filth from the dogs up. I don't want anybody coming to the dojo to participate in any activities and be walking around in the garden spaces, which are, to me, absolutely delightful. But I don't want it stinking. I don't want it stinking, and I certainly don't want anything to get on anybody's feet. So large part of what I'm doing out here today is, like I said, I gotta get stuff together, gotta clean up. I'll be planting over the next couple of days, and I'll allow you all to see how I prepare these beds in terms of actually planting culture. I am going to, of course, go for several rounds of collards. That's a staple part of my diet. Got my buckets here. Sorry about that. I'm over here working in one of my beds. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna kind of work this straightaway right here, but got called over to the bed. I hate to see those things really catch on to my mint, my lemon balm, which is kind of the last of what I got holding on. So I wanted to kind of attack that first. So think I've shared many times. Hello, my love. Whew, I think I've shared many times. Gardening work is back-breaking, and I promise you, with the lupus and stuff, like I'm always in pain. It's one of those, you know, like I said, it's measured because it's a labor of love. But when I come out the garden, I'm definitely sore. So today I'm trying to balance the work that I'm doing in the garden with really being aware of my body. And how does this fit back into the theme of center of being? You have to be self-aware, even in engaging in the things that you really love to do, especially as we're aging, right? I'm 50 and a penny, so I just passed my half century officially in January. And my body is not the same. It's not the same after a heart attack. It's not the same after discovering that I've had lupus. It's not the same as when I was a young woman before I had children. My body is not the same after having one child. I'm 2 children in. I'm the grandmother of 2 children and 2 grandchildren. And I have some serious autoimmune challenges going on. And so, though I love this work, one of the things that you'll see me tend to do is I either work early in the morning, and I love it when it's raining because it allows me some coolness of day. The other thing that I'll do is work a little bit later in the afternoon for the same reason, a little bit of cool out of that bright sun, and it helps me to be more productive with my time. The other thing that I encourage any and all of us to do, get your water supply in. I really like this one. I'll show you here. Can get these at Target. This is where my son got mine, because it really helps me to kind of keep my eye on where I'm at with water consumption for the day. Water is vital to your well-being, and so again, whenever engaged in any type of project, especially during the spring, summer, fall season that will be approaching, spring now, summer coming, fall later on. It's hot here in Georgia. You got to make sure that you get your liquid vitamins in. Most importantly, your water. So, I'll be taking several breaks to rejuvenate my water supply. And I'll be taking breaks so that I can stand up, pull my pants up. But more importantly, so that my body has an opportunity to break. It's important to pace yourself, okay? I have to pace myself when doing many and all things at this point in time. Though my brain runs in 1,000 directions at 100 miles an hour in each direction, my body's probably at 15 miles an hour in one direction specifically, all right? So I'm gonna get back to it. I'm hoping that you're able to see some of the work. I'm hoping that you're able to see some of the work that I'm doing here. I'm gonna try and keep this angle down so that you can see. But really what I'm doing, got several buckets out here. I've got one literally that I'm picking the dog shit up. And some of the weeds. I've got a larger one where I'm getting the weeds and several of the fall foliage that is no longer fall foliage, it's spring foliage at this point. Getting that stuff up off the ground because it's a great place for snakes to hide out. If not snakes, my garden can be prone to wolf spiders because I am near a deciduous forest here in my backyard. And so I have to be careful what I allow to stay around for too long. Now, I do believe in leaving out some of the heavy leaf material for a little while so that some of nature's good bugs have a little place to hide from the rain and from the cold. They get some shelter in some of those spaces, but I have to be careful. Mice and other field animals, rats, all that can be hiding underneath a lot of that debris. And so I like to make certain that once we start to get around the warm time, I like to clear that debris away so that my young granddaughter is not in any danger. And then I have a small pet who likes to play out here and poop. And so I don't want to attract certain vermin. And so that's what I'm out here doing today, is really paying attention to debris, and getting things set up so that I can begin the tracks and the plots for what I'm going to put out in terms of my spring supply. So again, gonna head back out this way. I hope that you're able to see me. For those of you who have joined me on the Instagram, I am appreciating you. Thank you so much. I'm also recording, of course, for my YouTube, Center of Being TV, and that'll post a little bit later. I know it's been a while, but hey, I'm here and happy to be so. Off in the back part of the garden, I found my very first sleeping snake, which again is like what I said. I like to. It's a gardening snake. It's a baby, but I can get some vicious pieces out here, and so I'm gonna allow the baby to rest. It's over there in the corner where you saw me working. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. if I can see where I'm working out there by that tarp. So in that area is where the snake is, right there. And so I'm going to keep on plugging on through. I've gotten the patch area kind of where I've got the cobblestones. I've got a lot of leaves to pick up in that area. I can show you what I laid down on my beds to keep my beds warm. So I had these over top of my bed. They were somewhat productive, not all the way. When the heavy winds got going and that one icy couple of days came through, kind of killed my effort. But I do believe in renewing and reusing everything. So I'm just gonna rinse these off. They're still good to go. And should I have a little freeze here in this springtime, I'll be able to use these over top of my beds and some of what I'm gonna lay out today. And then I like them because of their, they're not quite translucent, but they are clear enough so that sun can get through and penetrate. So I've got those sitting over to the side so that I can get to rinsing those down when I come back around with the hose. Got a lot of pieces in here that need to be hosed down. But while I'm at it and I see it, I go ahead and get this doggy poo up. I do wish that the poo-poo was valuable in some way and it could help my garden, but it can't. It is simply an environmental menace, and so it has to definitely be cleaned up, or else it really becomes very difficult to be out here in the garden. One of the things that I encourage, if you're a gardener like myself and you tend to keep old planters and things like that, for the sake of the mosquitoes, I tend to turn all of my planters over. So I turn them over so that they do not hold water. However, you know, those are great places once again because of how they're situated, where snakes and other things like rats, honestly, can get up and burrow up underneath there during the cold winter time. And you know, those animals are hibernating, and it's just now getting warm enough for them to want to come out of hibernation. So I like to be careful. I make a lot of noise before I really start working in the garden. That's another thing, another trick of the trade I want to give you. I do a lot of walking around out here a couple of days before I'm really about to get started with any one project. I definitely wear a high boot. Let's see if I can do a high kick. Oh, I can't. But I wear a high boot just in case I happen to come across anything that is dangerous to me. I always wear gloves in the garden. I've got poison ivy out here, and there's a little patch over in one part, and so I'm always in gloves, I'm always in high boots, I always have on my garden pants. I did buy these nice little knee pads here because another way of preserving my back is to actually bend at the knee. Like they tell you, bend at the knee. So I do like to bend at the knee instead of, you know, constantly being in this position. Plus, in that position, you're gonna see my arse. So, you know, it's, you know, I just like to come out here, get my planter boxes, my planter pieces all together. I don't plant everything initially in the garden. Some things I like to start in actual pots and then transfer them over. Some things just do better in pots for me. And so it's just important to me that, like I said, all of the debris is cleaned out. So I'm gonna keep going.
Hudson Gordon.
I had a call come through. I have to come back to it. Got some flashing going on. But anyway, I'm still working out here. At some point I'll take a break and let me take a little water here. Take a little water break. So what else are some tips that I can give while working out here in the garden space? Typically, I like to work with a waist trainer. It helps. I think I've shared with you all before, I have a hernia. So what's tip number one? Have all your supplies. So gardening is an affordable quality activity. You can get a lot of your supplies at the Dollar Tree. You can get a lot of your supplies at Family Dollar, various spaces, and even at thrift stores. You can find some old gardening tools, etc. But really get your supplies. And what I think that you need when gardening is a hat. You always want something to protect your eyes from the sun. I put on a variety of sunscreen and insect repellent. I'm sure that's self-explanatory, but you want to make certain that the insect repellent and the sunscreen that you're using are not hazardous to your skin. And so I tend to use natural based pieces, things that have citronella, eucalyptus, cedar oil, etc. Things that are not toxic to my person. I try not to use too many chemicals in this space. I consider it to be an organic space, and one of the ways that I keep it organic is making certain that I'm organic when I enter the space, right? That's important. Oh, hey, I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. And so always have your materials ready. You'll see me in the fall and the winter time. I work with a light coat that protects me from the rain and the elements. If you notice, I have on a camouflage today, so I'm working in a green. Whenever I'm working in the spring and the summer garden, you'll notice that I tend to wear a lot of green. Why? Because I don't look like a flower that needs to be picked or plucked or percolated with. Yeah. So I've had bees and wasps and hornets and all types of things sting me out here, but that's always happened when I've come out in the garden to harvest real quick and I've had on a cute summer dress, or I've had on my pajamas that are full of plenty of color, and I've learned the hard way that that's not the way to come out to the garden to do any level of work. And so part of, like I said, you want to have something to cover the head, you want to have your sunscreen on, of course you want to have your trusty water, wear muted colors. My gardening pants that I love. I do love these gardening pants. I am getting a little thicker, a little juicier. I lost some weight, but you know I'm juicier than I used to be. But I love these pants. They're water resistant. They've got pockets in them so that I'm able to put, you know, my gardening tools, or if I have to take off my gloves real quick, I can slip them into a pocket. They're easy to wash. The other thing that I encourage, of course, is several pair of gloves. I work with two. So, you know, most people will show you, you know, you've got this leather face glove here that's cloth on the back. Well, I work with two, and on the inside is a glove that is plastic. And what I've noticed is when I'm working in certain parts of my garden where there are thorny material, pokes right on through that leather, especially on the canvas side, where the canvas and the leather are sewn together. So I encourage you to work with two pairs of gloves, and always remember to put a nice coat and sheen of insect repellent around your hands, if your citronella or whatnot, put that around your hand, okay? Because it can repel things like the ants and other things that you're liable to come across in your garden. And so those are a couple of tricks of the trade that these are things that nobody, I think, really talks about. People talk a lot about where to place your plants and how to cover things to save yourself in times of seasonal change. But these little pieces, especially for startup gardeners like I was, about what, my son is about to be 19. So gosh, almost 10 years ago when we started doing this as a homeschooling project, these were the things that people don't necessarily talk about. So these are some of the things that I wanted to share with you today. The planes are rude as hell. They are rude, but they are doing their thing. They are transporting the people from the to's and the fro's. So, you know, I can't complain about that. So again, taking a little break and trying to be mindful because there's not any music today to keep you entertained. I am your entertainment. I'm going to keep coming back and forth and try to have a little dialogue about what I'm doing, and remember to refresh myself. So. tilled as much as I can by hand. Next thing I like to do is come in with my spade. I like to use my spade and my knife because I can work pretty close to the ground and get some of those roots that are harder for me to pull out. I used to be able to just go on up in there and pull that out by my hands, but no longer. Got one whole bucket filled with a lot of weed culture. Now, little gardening hat. In Georgia, you have several things that are considered to be weed that are actually medicinal, like dandelion. Yes, they can proliferate and, you know, they spread themselves around, can find themselves all over your garden. One of the things that I encourage you to do is if you have some dandelion, put a tire around it, put a little fence around it, and try to nurture your dandelion. Why? Because it is a wonderful medicinal plant. Dandelion is really good for detoxing with. It's one of those things that's great for detoxing the liver, the kidney, the bladder. Dandelion root, when roasted, makes a wonderful substitute for coffee. Kind of gives you the feel of a chicory. And so if you're new to the gardening game and you don't know where to start with what's already available to you in your space. I'm sure if you've got a backyard like mine, and even if you don't, there are things that are naturally growing there. And one of the things that's growing most abundant in most of our green spaces is dandelion. Another pretty flower that tends to grow quite wild and quite naturally here is mulberry. Mulberry, again, is one of those things that has some great medicinal value to it. Another thing that tends to grow quite a bit, quite naturally, is echinacea. The mints tend to honestly be quite a few places. Plantain leaf grows abundantly. Here it grows out the concrete. Okay, and so one of the things that I encourage is if you see something that's growing, before you pull it as a weed, I encourage you to take your iPhone or your Android phone, look up what that species of plant is. That's a lot of what I did in the beginning. I didn't have an iPhone, but I had an Android. And that's how we did homeschool. We would look up the species of plant that we had come across to really determine whether or not they would be harmful to our gardening effort or not. Our early stages of gardening were all about composting. all about creating the pre-matter. It's like the prebiotic to the body. So the compost is the pre-matter to your gardening handiwork, right? The plane, the plane. That was wrong. Funny. And so that's a way to start. And then once you determine what it is that you have, let me show you what you can use to kind of abundantly continue to grow that piece. So here at the dojo, we keep many egg crates, right? And these things are not hard to actually cut through. I have, of course, electric saws, etc., that I would use to cut out the bottom, but you can take a good machete and cut out the bottom. If not, you can find a big, beautiful, powerful human being who would like to work with you. You can take several things to Home Depot and actually ask them, Home Depot, Lowe's, ask them to use their power tools to cut out some of the bottom of these. So you can cut out the bottom here, and you can place it over top. And what it does is it creates a space for whatever it is that you're trying to grow with some regulation in your garden, something that grows wild. You're trying to grow it with some regulation. You want to pull up maybe the rest of the weeds that are around, but you want to keep a few in here that you're going to harvest. That's one way. Another way to utilize these in the garden, and I did this quite successfully with my collards. That plane, girl, that plane. So another thing that you can do is, I'm gonna talk about you can utilize these by laying a little burlap in here. So you put a little burlap, or you can use, if you go to some Indian marketplaces and some farmers markets, they actually sell the rice and other goods in burlap bags, coffee beans in burlap bags. Coffee bags are great to use, the large ones. You can put them in here, put your dirt inside the bag, put your dirt inside the burlap, and then you've got yourself a portable garden plot. You can take it with you wherever you go. And as you're learning, you know, where the best sun is, things like, or where you just like things in terms of the feng shui, where things look better to you, you can kind of move these around. And then when you're finished, let's say you really want to plant in ground, or you want to do an above ground potter, losing my words, you can go ahead on and just honestly, if there's a hole cut in the bottom, you just push that material through, put some more dirt over top, and that burlap is going to still help your plant to take root. If not, again, you can take the bag out. You can, because that burlap is going to decompose. All of mine did. So you can put that right in the ground, put your manure and your compost and whatnot, and your new dirt over top of it. And it's a great way to just kind of start a garden if you're not sure where to start. So again, start with what you already have in the garden and utilize things like this that can be found around your house, any number of schools, post offices. These bad boys are everywhere. Milk crates, they're a wonderful resource, and these are one of the great things to recycle and renew. Okay? So, I have some onions out here. Gotta try to be careful. I thought I had lost most of my onions, but I didn't lose most of my onions. And a lot of what I'm pulling now is some of my thyme, but it's too abundant. It's all over everything. It's kind of mixed in with some of the weeds in the garden. And so I'm excited though. Back over here in my second bed. I have found that some gardens survived that winter cold, and so I've got to be careful not to pull them out of the ground, even though I think they're probably ready to munch on. A while back working, I think, what was it, last fall, as I was preparing my gardens for a winter grow season, I found a ton of carrots and was able to bring a couple of those into the house. Well, not a ton. That's not accurate. I found several carrots. All right, so I am still working in this area. I'm going to continue working throughout the day. I wanted to remind you why I'm here and why I'm sharing. Center of Being Bodywork and Wellness Dojo is committed to the martial art of self-care. It is a discipline. Just like any martial arts study, it's a discipline. It's a discipline of merging the body, the mind, the soul, which I call the spiritual self, the spiritual house. And the dojo, COB Dojo, as I affectionately short name the vehicle of my business, is having a Garden Delight series that is launching here at the dojo this weekend. So on Friday, March 31st from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. you can join us for a networking social mixer. We will have some lovely botanical drinks available to you, as well as some wine. You will be able to partake in a little bonfire, some conversation with other like-minded individuals. So I encourage you to come on out. The drink ticket is available to you. Please contact me. My name is Mama Shah. You can DM me and I will let you know how much the drink price is, or you can go online to my website, www.centerofbeingdojo.com, and get information about the dojo there. You can go on to my Facebook. I haven't posted there yet, but I'll be posting there today. Center of Being Dojo on Facebook. Of course, you're joining me here on Instagram to get information. So again, the Garden Series Delight is coming your way. I've been working on this baby. It's been nestled in my heart and in my soul for about 2 years now. So the Garden Series is coming. It's called The Beauty in Botanicals, because there is beauty in botanicals. That's the name of the garden series, and we will start off with the Botanical on the Vine networking social, again Friday, March 31st from 6 until 10 p.m. And then join us on Saturday for the Botanical Bodega, which is going to be in the future a pop-up marketplace. But for now, it is our lawn sale, and we will be featuring the talents and the skills and the products made from the home space. So the do-it-yourself activities of my son, my daughter, my roommate. Those were claims. And so, yeah, we are going to have a lawn sale and continue the garden party. You can pre-order a lunch from Penelope's. There is a registration form available to you. If you check out my website, I have also posted on my Instagram here. If you check that out, you will be able to open a link. The link will send you to a form, a pre-registration form for the event. You can pre-register for your box lunch. The lawn sale garden party is going to be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. this Saturday, April 1st. And I ain't fooling y'all. This is a real deal. So come on through, check us out. You'll have 357 Vintage Clothing, which is my son's vintage clothing line. You will also have an ability, if you'd like to get your locks, your hair tussled and tasseled. My daughter will be taking pre-orders for her wig company. I'm encouraging her to promote her other businesses. She is really the inspiration to entrepreneurship here within the Coleman clan. My daughter has been an entrepreneur since she was a young woman, knew that she wanted to be an entrepreneur, and we wrapped her entire homeschooling around her desire to be self-employed. She also will be taking name and information if someone is interested in pursuing their own virtual business. She has a virtual business, Coleman-X, and you can check her out on her pages. But we will be here Saturday at the Botanical Bodega from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Again, please pre-order your box lunch with Penelope's Culinary Service. If you check out my website at www.centerofbeingdojo.com, you can get information. There is a little QR code where you can open that code up and be able to find the information about how to get your box lunch. You'll be able to pre-order your ticket for the mixer. The ticket allows you access to a lovely beverage as well as an amuse-bouche. Yes. And so we will have some appetizers and some spirits for you here at the house, at the dojo. Excuse me, it is a home-based business, but the dojo. So with that being said, I just wanted to remind you all why I'm working here in the garden. I love it. It is how I produce a large part of my diet. I ate a lot of collards, and I was able to sustain myself pretty much from my collards that I grew in my own garden for a majority of 2022, and I hope to do the same again here in 2023, though I'm getting started late. But hey, I'm out here. So that'll be my last conversation around gardening hacks. Just do it. I think oftentimes we talk about how we're trying or how we had intended to. And you know, the desire to be perfect can actually become a tool of procrastination. I certainly suffer from it. And so in my desire for things to constantly be perfect, I have procrastinated myself out of many areas of industry, even within the design of my own business, right? And in the promotion of my own business and my own talent and my own skills. And so one of the things that I want to leave you with today is don't try in the garden. Don't try to garden. Just do it. Because green things gonna grow. You don't even have to try that hard. All you have to do is plant the seed. God gonna take care of the rest. The goddess, God, whomever it is that you see as your most high. If there is no most high, the sun, the earth, the water that is supplied to us, it's going to take care of itself. So what you have to do is commit yourself to the task, and it is a chore and a labor of love, but commit yourself to the task so that you can reap the harvest. And so I leave you with those words today. Don't try, just do it. Remember to be prepared when coming out in the garden. And remember to recycle, renew, and reuse. These are important things when we consider ourselves to be organic gardeners. A lot of folks like to go to your Lowe's and your Home Depots and your different places and buy all types of new stuff and bring it out to your garden and transition the plants. And that's a good way to get started. But what I encourage you to do is look at the matter that's already available to you. See how you can utilize that matter in your life. Like I said, dandelion root is one of those great plants for detox. All right, mulberries, they actually, the little berry, when squished, I have been finding that a lot of things provide color if you want to dye things naturally, right? So there's all types of things that you can do with what's already in your garden space. And that's what I encourage you to do, is start with what you have. But the most important thing to do is to just start. And don't seek perfection. What you seek is an opportunity to connect with the mother. That's what this is all about, is renewing this resource of the mother and regenerating a relationship that you have personally with her care. We are stewards of this planet, and we need to be more responsible about how we engage with the planet. And so one of the things, like I said, that you don't have to go places and create a lot of waste and buy a lot of things that you're just going to throw out and create more waste. You can utilize things around the house. Like I said, milk crates, right? You can utilize those. Burlap bags, if you go to get rice and things like that and they sell them in the burlap bag. Or perhaps one time just get a lot of rice You're going to eat it. I promise. You're going to eat it. I promise you're gonna eat. If you like my family, you're gonna go through a lot of rice. The other thing you might want to use is egg cart cratons. If you get the cardboard ones, those are a great thing to start your garden pieces in. You can start your seedlings there. And so I'm just encouraging you, just do it. And I can promise you, you will be as satisfied and fulfilled as I am, if not more. So again, I'm going to keep working today. We'll see how long these things stay going, but I wanted to say thank you so much for joining me here at Center of Being Dojo. I appreciate you always. I appreciate you always. I see someone else has joined, so I'm going to say hello. Hi there. But yeah, it's the most beautiful work of life to grow your own food. And as the prices of food increase, as we deal with the fallacy of inflation, the fantasy of inflation, because somehow the rich stay steady, but the rest of us are suffering, it's important that you learn these skills. And not only that you learn these skills around gardening efforts, but that you teach your children, that you teach future generations about food production, food harvesting. It's going to be an important skill to have. And so I just want to share with you all today these important pieces. Get out into your green space. You don't have to have a big plot that and this ain't big, because some folks, Brother Ross Kofi and Sister Tina Myers, they got that's big space. That's big space. This little space, this is me workable space. But even this can be a little bit big for some folks. So you can start with one milk crate, growing one thing. And I promise you, the planet will thank you for it. We can all do a better job. All we have to do is make a commitment and then begin. No trying. There's no such thing. Just do it. So with that being said, I appreciate you. I hope to see you this weekend at the Garden Delight series here at the dojo. If you need information, again, visit me online at my website, www.centerofbeing.com. Of course, I'll be posting information on my Instagram here. You can visit my Facebook as well. I'll start posting there probably this evening. That is Center of Being Dojo on Facebook. I'm out there in the Twitter universe as Shira, I believe, but I think I've got a Center of Being Twitter, but I'm not sure. I'm not a tweeter. And so these are the vehicles to be in touch with myself. I look forward to seeing you. And if not at this Garden Delight kickoff event, hopefully the future ones. If you are a vendor, if you are an entrepreneur and you have a product and you'd like to come out and vend this weekend, please hit me up and let me know. Please hit me up and let me know. There is space out here in the backyard. Let me give you look at that. There's tons of space. So if you're interested in a vending opportunity this weekend, you want to pop up and just do it, pop up here to the dojo. Just pop up before 10 o'clock and we'll get you set up with a little space out here in the backyard. You'll be out here able to really enjoy this beautiful garden. If you are a corporate entity, if you are someone who knows a corporate entity who'd like to sponsor a small business initiative, please put them in touch with myself. I've got plenty of ideas up here in the ticker, and there's many proposals I've gotten written down, and I would love to have a few sponsors for a few of these events that I've got going on. You're going to hear me bring to you, or you're going to see me bring to you more information about the Garden Delight series. Again, Beauty in Botanicals Garden Delight series. We will be hosting always a mixer on a Friday, the Botanical Bodega Marketplace, pop-up marketplace on the Saturday, and soon coming to you will be the Botanical Brunch on Sunday. So these are the things that are coming forward to you from Center of Being Dojo. I am so very thankful to be a steward, to be the owner, to be a steward of this land, and to be the owner of this business. I thank you so much for giving me your time today and sharing with me the chore of gardening as we get ready for all of you who are within the scope of my voice, all 3 of y'all. Share the message, pass it along. If you know anybody in Atlanta who likes vintage clothing, they got to check out Nasir's 357 Vintage Clothing. It's a beautiful thing. If you know anybody, like I said, who want to get their locks tousled and tasseled, who, you know, these are my locks. But on occasion, you know, my daughter has put me in a wig. It was fun. It wasn't my thing, but you'll see me in one every once in a while. She is now entered into beauty school, and so I plan on being her her working, talking, walking head. And so please support this family-based initiative. Come on out and support the Center of Being Dojo and the family initiative here this weekend. I look forward to serving you, and I look forward to seeing you. I think I've spoken enough, and with that, Ashe, be well. Bye-bye. Do, 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 do. How do I do it?